The purpose of this presentation is to persuade the James Roger Elliott heirs to fight for their land, houses, and wealth. The James Roger Heir's story is compared to the Milgram Experiment. The Milgram Experiment has been done several times, and the ending is always the same. Many of us lack the resources necessary to critically analyze moral issues and cannot resist authority even when they know that what they are told to do is wrong and could harm others. Few people lack the resources needed to resist authority figure. The people who do resist authority figure will tell you exactly why they could not do harm to others and the reasons why. The 2/3 of the people who do what authority figure tell them to do cannot articulate the reason why they did what the authority figure told them to do, even though what was done is harmful to others. The harmful Milgram experience to others can be slowed down, but never completely stopped, as long as you have authority figures who are willing to do wrong to others. I will give you a solution on how to get justice by minimizing the effect of wrong done to James Roger Elliott heirs at the end of this presentation. Once known as a prominent family, the Elliots are descendants of Henry Elliott, 1846 to 1944. The Elliots were proud people that demand respect. If you were an Elliott, then you were somebody. Henry believed that none of his people should work as sharecroppers. He bought several acres of land in his lifetime and gave to his children land and sold land to others. In 1943, James W. Elliott and Roger Elliott Jr. bought 60 acres of land from the Byrds and then towards the end of the year gave the land to their parents, James Roger Elliott and Janie H. Elliott. The deed map is 287, page 73. The land was originally surveyed by Carl Walker in 1966 and in 1974 resurveyed by Pt1 Survey, located on 2026 Nutgrass Road, Book 20, page 7, and also Book 12, page 60. Happy Times, 1943 to 1963. James Roger Elliott Sr. and his family accumulated wealth by farming, working a job, service in the military, social bar, and borrowing money using the deed book 235, page 406, 78 acres as collateral. In 1943, James W. Elliott and Roger Elliott Jr. bought land from the Byrds and eventually gave the land to their parents the same year. Deed book 287, page 73, map book 20, page 7. Roger Sr. developed lot 3, 8, and 9 as social playground area for the Elliots and their guests. Beautiful James Roger Elliott Estate House, valued at $400,000 in 1979, removed between 2017 and 2018 from Nutgrass Land, Highway 2026. In 1948, Roger Elliott filed for divorce in Superior Court, and after a hearing, the divorce was granted in Raleigh, North Carolina. Janie Harris Elliott and her male heirs continued for years to constantly borrow money and then pay back the loans using the 78 acres that contained houses on it as collateral. The loan was used to buy houses and accumulate wealth. The male heirs was responsible for paying back the loans. Janie H. Elliott did not work. In 1963, James Roger Elliott died in Dunn, North Carolina, with no will. This is the story of the end to a legacy and way of life and how to get it all back. Divorce papers. 3 of the several contracts used as collateral to borrow money. In 1966, Judge Elizabeth F. Matthews ordered ex parte petition based on equal share. In 1966, Judge Elizabeth F. Matthews ordered ex parte petition based on equal share. The responsibility of the clerk of court was supposed to file with the register of deeds the information that was left out of the 1966 ex parte petition. That was very important. It stated that Janie H. Elliott gets no land on Nutgrass Road, Highway 2026, because of a divorce, and that each heir gets 1/9 of the 60 acres land measured wrong by Carl Walker. The ex parte petition, clerk of court supposed to let everyone know by certified mail the decision of the Superior Court and give a period to respond. Violation of civil rights, everyone should be required to be present and sign their name. The signature of all of the 9 tenants in common was done in 1965, but not in 1974. 3 county commissioners signed their signature in the place of all the 8 tenants named for the 1974 ex parte petition under the leadership of the clerk of court. County Commission report, and 3 heirs agreed to equal share in 1966. James W. Elliott signed the North Carolina form in 1965 by himself and marked Eunice Elliott name out. Eunice Elliott stated she believed the petition. In 1965, Eunice W. Elliott was still married to E.C. Howard. 2 different bloodlines. How Eunice Elliott was given James W. Elliott land. The coroner put Eunice Elliott's name as being married to James W. Elliott on the death certificate after James W. Elliott was found dead on Lot 9 by the lake. No autopsy was done. Eunice W. Elliott was married to E.C. Howard, a soldier. Eunice F. Elliott, that's the wrong middle name, gave Mamie Lot 8 as a deed. The 1966 agreement was equal share only. No deed was supposed to be written by the clerk of court for a deed. Robert and Leroy Elliott had already built 2 colonial houses on the land, and both lost ownership because of an illegal deed. In 1966, the Elliots were told that the only way to get land back that was taken by others was to pay taxes and live on the land for 20 years. This was not good advice. Martin Luther King says, "A wait on justice is justice denied." Elliott waited 20 years and started building houses. In 1986, the Elliott men could finally be happy. They thought they had finally got back Lot 3 and Lot 8. Sadly, this was not to be. I was told by John Wesley Elliott in 2012 that Johnny Dupree, who's the county commissioner, came around and let others know that Leroy Elliott was claiming the land and houses that were built as his own. Sadly, this was not true. The only land that Leroy Elliott signed in his name that was based on equal share was Lot 9, the playground for the Elliots. Why 1974 ex parte petition? The clerk of court stated the reason for the 1974 ex parte petition was that Robert Elliott and wife wanted a deed. The county commission and clerk of court knew that Robert Elliott was not going to sign the deed because the land was rezoned and Robert Elliott's share was given to Jesse Hunter, Lot 4, and Lot 5, which was Lillian Elliott land, was given to her also. Book 606, page 19D to 27, never signed by James Roger Elliott Heirs. The clerk of court and the county commission named Janie H. Elliott land as being located on Nutgrass Road, 2026. The same location as map book 12, page 60, and deed book 287, page 73, which is the James Roger Elliott Heirs land. The county commission has surveyed Piedmont rezoned Highway 2026 land and gave Jesse Hunter more land, Lot 4 and Lot 5. Both had a colonial house on it. The land that Janie Elliott did own, located in Linden, is on the opposite side of 401, went to the Elliott with 1 T, the Indians. If you read the fine print, you will see that Janie H. Elliott land location, D 235, page 406, track 1 is the opposite of 401 And tract 2 is the corner of Walker and Wide Road, which is in Bun Level, North Carolina. This is the original land deed, book 235, page 406, that was put on the map, book 19, page 65. This is the original deed, tract 1 and tract 2, given to Jane H. Elliott in 1930. This is tract 2, 25 acres, that's on the corner of Walker and Wide Road. In 2017, I was not able to find a map of Linden and Bun Level in Harnett County Library. I did ask. The left map is from Ancestry.com, and the right map is from Charleston, South Carolina Library. Why Leroy Elliott was probably blamed for the loss of others' land on Nutgrass Road. Leroy Elliott was the leader of Nutgrass Business Social Bar. He controlled all of the 7 Elliott men business accounts. The executive of his account had a chance to help the Elliott men keep what was claimed by the Davis heir. Instead, she chose the latter. Took 5 years to close Leroy Elliott's account from 1987 to 1992. Stated his account was broke. If so, why so many lawyers? 7 in all. Executive responsibility was to let all the Elliott men heirs know that they need to keep paying their taxes for the house and just take possession. The clerical court refused to let another heir handle Leroy Elliott's account and chased the executive for years. Got in touch with me 2 times looking for the executor, but refused to let me handle the accounts so that taxes can be paid. I, the author, was told that Leroy Elliott only owned land and nothing else. Houses on Nutgrass land was not listed on the deeds. Leroy Elliott estate was located in Sanford, North Carolina, Barbecue Lane, not Stewart Creek. Leroy Elliott changed his will in 1987, but attorneys who took over his account in 1992 when James L. Penny was found dead in his office, Attorney L. Hope submitted the 1980 last will and testament to Leroy's estate files, which was illegal. The 1987 last will and testament was never put into Leroy Elliott's estate file until 2017, when I, the author, showed the 1987 last will and testament to Attorney L. Hope. The record came from Raleigh, North Carolina, where the old estate files are kept. The 1987 last will and testament appear to be tampered with. The Y on the front does not match the Y on the back. I don't believe Leroy Elliott wanted his daughter to be executive of his estate. Improper for the clerical court to allow a convicted felon manslaughter to file for guardianship of his father. The convicted felon at the time lived with his mother. The defendant lawyer stated nothing to help the defendant keep his estate. The doctor was not present, and the 3 Elliott submitted paperwork that stated Leroy Elliott only had $1,000 in his account and $15,000 in real property. Leroy Elliott was a wealthy man who served in World War II and an employee for civil service for 30 years. April 23, 1987, estate custody and guardianship of Leroy Elliott was given to the youngest daughter, without hearing from the defendant, Leroy Elliott. I, the author, did not live in Bun Level, never knew this happened, and did not find out what happened until 2018 when a close relative gave me the paperwork. I was very upset to find out an impostor went to court in my place. The date and time of death of Leroy Elliott don't match the bottom. I was told that Leroy Elliott died in April of 1987 by John Wesley Elliott. The death certificate came from Ancestry.com. What Leroy Elliott gave his 3 heirs before his death. 2 Elliott's was given a home in California. 1 Elliott was given a home in Raleigh, North Carolina. 1 heir received nothing compared to the other 3. I believe my home may have been listed in 1987 last will that listed no assets. Leroy Elliott map that shows Lot 3. Book 19, page 65. No evidence that Leroy Elliott knew about this map, and he did not sign for Lot 3. Lot 3, not signed by James Roger Elliott Heirs. The deed location is supposed to be put on the bottom of the page, not the top. I believe someone tampered with the deed. I believe that someone typed the location of deed book 604, page 186, as being deed book 19, page 65. I really believe that Leroy Elliott was claiming 1 acre, lot 3, on his map book 20, page 7. He used to run Nutgrass Club on lot 3. Christopher Carr used 1 acre deed that Leroy Elliott gave back to the county commissioner in 1975, book 604, page 186, track 3, and stated the difference of 5.39 from book 19, page 65 in that same area, as if Leroy Elliott was claiming lot 3, book 19, page 65. So wrong. 1992, close of Leroy Elliott's estate, the estate lawyer, James L. Penley Jr., was found dead in his office. The foreclosure hearing, there is no way that the Elliott heirs would have known that their land was up for sale. Jessie Hunter and her mother, Eunice Elliott, had already received illegally their share one night of Lot 8, deed book 12, page 60, and deed the land to Mamie Davis. Jessie Hunter was not supposed to be given any more land. Jessie Hunter land went to Morris Wayne Coates, and then to Johnny Lee Dupree, who was the county commissioner, and then to Darrell J. Warren. Darrell J. Warren borrowed $5,000 in 1986. Newspaper book 825, page 75. Mamie Walker's as the highest bidder. Lot 4 and Lot 5 paid $8,000. A house was on Lot 4 and Lot 5. The house that was on Lot 5 burnt down. Above reason is why it took 5 years for Leroy Elliott, executive, to close his estate. Sadly, in 1986, Darrell J. Warren borrowed $5,000, used Lot 4 and 5 as collateral, foreclosed in 1993. Mamie Walker was the highest bidder for land that Jessie Hunter previously owned for $8,000. No way was the Elliott to know that Darrell Warren had foreclosed on Lot 4 and Lot 5. The land and colonial houses was up for bid at the courthouse in Lillington. The bidders only knew about land. The houses were kept off the land deed bid. The Elliott Eunice people, not the Elliots, were given Jane H. Elliott land that was located in Linden, North Carolina, on the opposite side of 401. What finally caused an end to the Elliott legacy and their lives? The clerical court changed equal share that all the heirs signed to deed, which no one signed. In 1974, only the 3 county commissioners, Christopher Carr, and the attorneys Christopher L. Carr, Woodell, Hope, Femar, and Phillips, PA, used an unauthorized map book 19, page 65-66, and book 606, page 19D to 27, and last will and testament of 1980 in taking over James Roger Elliott Heir land on 2026 Nutgrass Road. Christopher L. Carr, I, the author, seen him as a tax lawyer for the estate. He pasted my signature along with the other 3 heirs on all forms without my permission, and someone went to Superior Court stating that they were me several times. Rhonda Ennis, estate lawyer, stated nothing on the behalf of the defendant at the guardianship hearing. What happened to the Elliott men? Mamie Walker was given Lot 8, 4, 5, and 3, book 20, page 7 of the James Roger Elliott estate. Her heirs' interest was only supposed to be 1/9. I wrote this information in 2018. What happened to the Elliott men? At the start of my investigation, going by the record, I now don't believe the records for Leroy Elliott. Daffy Funeral Home don't know his burial place. Willie Elliott died in 1987 and was cremated. Robert Elliott was found dead on Nutgrass land. Henry S. Elliott, homicide on Nutgrass land. Lily Elliott died in Greensboro Hospital, far away from loved ones. Other male heir moved off the land to other bloodlines and sold his land. James F. Penny Jr., 1992, found dead in the law office. Black Lives Matter. Why you want to fight for your land? The Elliott men matter. They were just beginning to enjoy their golden years and fruit of their labor. All four men served with honors in the military. They worked hard running the social bar area, service in the military, paying taxes, and finally building houses for all the Elliots. The area around Lot 8 and Lot 9 is considered a historic site because of the way the lake serviced the community. Janie H. Elliott land that was used by the Elliott men as collateral to borrow money is right now considered a historic site. James Roger Elliott's sweat and blood bought this land as an indentured servant, raising $530 in the Depression years, and buying the land deed book 217, page 639 in 1925. No one should get away with the murder of a family member, the father. The takeover by the three Elliots and others benefited only themselves. The three Elliott heirs had done nothing positive for the community, only take away from the community. Please don't let the death and sacrifice of the Elliott men be in vain. Fight, fight, fight for your land rights. You pay taxes. How you can get back your land and houses. Have the 1974 ex parte petition overturned. Book 19, page 65 and 66. Illegal. No evidence of signed agreement used in the takeover. Bobby Elliott, 4-23-87. Illegal for a convicted felon, manslaughter, to apply for guardianship. Ask President Joe Biden, Commander-in-Chief, to investigate the death of all Elliott men based on homicide. No statute of limitation for murder. All men served their country with honors. World War II. Unofficial document means not authorized. The 1974 ex parte petition paperwork was listed as unofficial in the old index file, which was used in the takeover. The three Leroy Elliott heirs need to be held accountable for their crimes, the demise of their father. Clerical court needs to make a requisition so that you and others can fight in court for land rights without a lawyer. Needs to ask that the Registrar of Deeds do a title search before she signs deeds in other names. Registrar of Deeds needs to make sure that everything on the land is listed, especially a house structure. Notary public signature should be on page 1 and all other pages. Employees should never stay at one facility for years working with records. Favoritism, similar to the Milgram Experiment.